I worked at a retail store in the mall. The store is divided into men's, women's and children's clothes. I always worked women's, and on the weekdays I was always the only employee in that entire section. Yesterday myself and 2 other employees clocked into our shifts. My manager Lisa pulled me aside and told me, "Your dad's called the store 5 times asking for your schedule, please tell him to stop." I got extremely confused because that didn't sound like something my dad would do. I even texted him and he said he never called the store once. I had a bad feeling and asked Lisa if she gave my dad my schedule, and she did. I then told her that wasn't my dad and she had no right telling a strange man my schedule. She got annoyed and told me that it wasn't a big deal and I was being dramatic. I then quit on the spot, which only left her and 2 other employees to watch the entire store. She kept apologizing and even burst into tears because they were understaffed. Ada? Yesterday was my birthday. My 30M wife 28F and I had made reservations at this really nice Korean barbecue restaurant for dinner. My wife is 4 months pregnant. However, her friend wanted to hang out with her and had called her the night before my birthday. My wife said that this was a childhood friend of hers and that she really wanted to spend time with her. I reminded her that it's my birthday, but she just dismissed it, saying my birthday comes every year but her friend will be leaving for Germany in a few weeks. I told her that she could go after my birthday as well, but she did not listen and just went to a sleepover at her friend's place. I got really mad at her, and instead of waiting for her to return home to talk things out, I asked my friend if he would like to hang out with me. He was fine with it, so we spent the day fishing, grilling, hiking, and went to the Korean barbecue for dinner. When she came home after spending time with her friend, she apologized to me, saying it was an unavoidable circumstance. I told her that it wasn't a problem and that I spent the day with my best friend. She got mad that I'd take him to the restaurant that we had booked for ourselves. I said that it was originally for us, but since she prioritized her friend over me, I took the person who prioritized me on my birthday. She said that I'm controlling and that I shouldn't be deciding who she spends time with. Now she's neither talking to me nor coming out of the room. I think I went too far by telling her whom she should be spending time with. Ada? So my fiancé has a rather large family. Parents, 2 brothers with significant others, numerous adult nieces and nephews and their partners, and there's usually always some distant aunt, uncle or cousin that tags along. I have 2 family members that join holidays. This year neither will be able to attend. Last year one was present. So for the past 4 years I've been single-handedly cooking from scratch and hosting for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. So essentially I've been cooking dinner for 20 people or so while my partner babysits a brisket in the smoker. There's a lot of logistics behind cooking for a large crowd. I start prepping the night before, cook all morning and afternoon, and by the time everything is done I'm too exhausted to enjoy the food I cooked and eat. Last year I requested that everyone attending brings one side dish or dessert. No one brought anything. I had a feeling that's what it was going to be, as no one mentioned what they're bringing, so I prepared for it anyway. Just to also mention, I have never been thanked for hosting or cooking. Literally by no one. All leftovers get picked over and taken home. Last year I also had to cook the following day because there was nothing left to eat except some baked brie that my mill turned her nose up to, and I wanted to enjoy leftovers at least. This year I told my partner that I have no intention of cooking. If he wanted to host, he can cater. His reaction was, "But that's our tradition, can't you at least make some boxed stuffing or something, and everyone is planning on coming?" My reaction was, "Nope, that's your tradition, I will not make boxed stuffing, and if they're planning on coming, you better put that catering order in." He has not spoken to me since. I also had to explain, and I shouldn't have to, that I haven't been feeling well. I finished an 8-month course of a pretty rough medication that dries out all the joints in your body. I've been achy and miserable and I feel stiff when I overwork myself. Ada for not wanting to entertain 20+ people twice a year, every year. I have decided to possibly sit out Thanksgiving completely, buy a pre-made single-serving Thanksgiving dinner at the local grocery store that just needs to be popped in the oven for a while, and going to watch the new Lady Gaga movie. Edit. Guys, my partner found this post and sent me the link. Now apparently we're canceling everything because I'm venting to strangers on the internet. I guess he didn't like what he read. Oops. I'm a lesbian, and I've been with my girlfriend for almost 2 years now. My family, including my sister, is all fine with me being gay and supportive of my relationship. However, her fiancé comes from a very regressive and religious family, and while he himself is fine, his extended family is very traditional and anti-gay. My sister gave me my invitation in person instead of mailing it, and explained that I wasn't getting a +1 because having a gay couple at the wedding would likely end up causing lots of drama with his side of the family. All my other siblings have +1s and are welcome to bring their hetero partners. I understand where she's coming from, but it still feels like such a slap in the face. I'm not going to try and force her to give me a +1, but I'm seriously considering not going. I love my sister, but I'm not comfortable spending a whole day alone, while my other siblings are allowed to bring their partners, just because my sister wants to cater to a bunch of bigots. I haven't said anything to anyone yet, but if I so stay home, would I be the asshole? So, I have been a Sam for several years. I worked very hard on our budget, shopping, meal prep and we were okay. We recently became empty nesters. The last one moved out, pays her own bills, got a scholarship extension. I was bored, so I decided to take one of the many grocery store jobs available at the store across the street. My intent was part-time, but they quickly moved me to a different, full-time position, which I do like and am good at, and it pays a bit more. The store is short-staffed and I have been doing my best to help, but recently my manager sat me down with her boss witness to have a documented discussion about how I am not a team player, because I won't help other departments even though I am struggling to get my own stuff done because my position should have 3 people but it's just me. They wanted me to sign a paper acknowledging that my behavior was unacceptable. I told my manager, you need me, I don't need you. In my previous position in management I learned it will cost your store an average of $10,000 to hire and train a replacement. I also know you have a walk-in interviews welcome sign outside every day and you all are stressing about how short-staffed you are and have limited applications. So no, I won't sign this, feel free to fire me. There are 10 stores within a mile that are also offering walk-in interviews. So, no, I won't sign this. You can accept that or replace me, and I really don't care if you mark me as not eligible for rehire, I'll just leave you off my resume and do just fine. Still have a job 3 days later and everyone is acting like nothing happened, but some people are saying I am being the odd because the management is also struggling because they are short-staffed. I, 20F, am a college student. In my country a lot of students hunt for internship cause it helps in getting a better pay package during placements. I've been casually talking with this guy who's also my classmate. He was all friendly at the beginning but started flirting recently. I never once flirted with him and always just ignored his moves, but last week he asked me out and I said no. In fact, I apologized to him to have him think that somewhere in our conversation I might have led him on. He ghosted me and I didn't think much of it. But 2 days later, he texted me again, asking me out. I told him that I already said no, to which he replied he gave me time to think over and that I should be grateful for it. NGL, I got pissed and told him to F off. And he got pissed and called me all the names under the moon and just slut-shamed me for it. I blocked him but he made his friends to cuss me out too. I got super frustrated and called him out on my story along with attaching the SS of our chats. Around 300 PPL saw and one among them is placement mentor, 4th year student. I didn't think much of it cause after the story as I blocked them all and went ahead with my day. The placement head saw this kind of behavior unacceptable and appalling. So he reported this to our department head. Apparently in my college, this kind of behavior is labeled as harassment and punishment can lead to suspension. The department head, DH, and placement mentor called me to DH's office to get my statement and I did. I showed them everything. Well, he got suspended for 3 months for his behavior. He was about to get a very good internship in a government company, but since he got suspended that internship is also gone. Our Professor P loves him and he called me to his office to go and make another statement to DH that I forgive him and there's also wrong in my part. Our DH called me, his parents and our 2 professors, P and Q. DH asked me if I'm willing to forgive him. This will get him off the suspension. Somewhere inside of me wanted to see him suffer, so I told him no. I was harassed and I want him punished. His mother berated me in front of everyone, saying that I'm the one who led her son and I'm doing this purposefully cause he's my competitor. And her son is the victim here. DH didn't listen to her and gave R his rightful punishment, well, at least according to me. Well, now, our internship started and few of my friends said I took it too far. He just called me names while texting and I got him suspended for that. Some of my other classmates called me a bully and off for ruining his bright future, and Professor P called me outside the class today and told me that he's extremely disappointed in me and it's because of girls like me, potential careers of men are ruined. This actually made me cry and I'm rethinking whether what did was actually extreme. So, Reddit, Ada. Due to job opportunities, we recently moved into a new neighborhood. While most things were going fairly smoothly, we'd at around 4 p.m. hear a couple of knocks on our door. When we went to see who it was, to our surprise there wasn't anybody there. It was only until a couple weeks later that we thought there could be the possibility of someone doing ding-dong ditch. We just never thought of it as everyone here seemed really relaxed, so ding-dong ditch never crossed our minds. As to not resort to any extreme measures, we put up a sign near the door saying to please not trouble the POP inside by doing these silly pranks, which didn't work. Since it didn't work, we resorted to asking people about it. But all I got was that it was some sort of tradition for kids in the neighborhood to do this to the new people in the area. This kind of irked me, as ding-dong ditch is really annoying, so I set up a camera inside our house to capture who was outside our door. After reviewing the footage multiple times I was able to confirm it was some brat who was a couple meters away. I went to speak to his parents but they laughed it off saying kids will be kids, so I decided that I'd myself do something about it. After 3 days the kid came back, but I was hiding behind an unlocked door with a large water bucket. As soon as he knocked and turned I opened the door and splashed him with water. I thought that was it, but the kid's parents came not even 10 minutes later, demanding as to why I soaked their kid in water. I tried to justify my reasoning but to no avail. I'm conflicted, feel like I myself used a petty way of getting that kid to stop annoying us. I would love to hear your opinions on this as well.